Okay, so just tell me who you are and how you became interested in the health of our environment.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sami and I'm the founder of the nonprofit The Resilient Activist. And I would say, oh my gosh, my connection with the environment goes back probably 30 or more years. And I was down at the Flint Hills of Kansas before there was anything really public there to go to. There's now the National Preserve, the Tallgrass Prairie Preserve is down there. So on that same property where the preserve is, at that time there was one hiking trail open, one Saturday or Sunday morning a month. And so we were down there. I was down there with my family hiking, and we all split up. Everybody went their own directions. And I was at the top of a hill looking around and realized I couldn't see anything man made. It was all nature. And it was this awe-inspiring moment of, oh my gosh, feels so good and so right. And so since then, I've just really moved into more awareness of how I live my life and the choices I make to really benefit that amazing nature experience that I had.
What organization are you with, and how does that benefit our community and our environment?
So the organization, the Resilient Activist, was founded in 2018 to provide stress management, community building, and emotional support for people who are fearful, anxious, overwhelmed about what's happening with the climate crisis. And it came from my own personal experience. My older son was an environmental activist who, the more he understood about the global levels of destruction, the less he felt that he was going to make any difference. And in 2003, he took his own life. So, in the intervening time, I've been really looking for what support could have helped him that he didn't have. And that's really where our organization came from, is meeting the hearts and the minds of people who are really deeply entrenched in the environmental movement. Um, and basically our underlying mission is that the world needs educated, dedicated, hopeful environmental activists to be able to sustain us through what we know are going to be some difficult times ahead.
So what does every single session that you have meeting, is it different? What does it usually look like? How many people usually come and know about this?
So we have a lot of different um, events, some of which are our own events. I'm invited to speak at a lot of public events for a lot of organizations around town. So there is no one audience. There's no one definition. We typically talk about something that we've developed called the 5 essentials for a resilient world. And almost every topic that we look at can come through that lens of reconnecting to nature, respecting all life, regreening the planet, revamping our spending, and replenishing our resources. So, whether it's emotional angst, we can take those concepts internally. So, reconnecting to nature, all the benefits of time spent in nature, right? Regreening our life. Those of us who have our favorite gardens, our favorite places around our home, or even plants, house plants, which you have and I have, um, the emotional resilience tools of being part of nature is part of what we teach. Or we can talk about recycling, or we can talk about composting. We can take all of these ideas, concepts that are all interrelated and interlinked, run them through the 5 essentials for a resilient world, and find simple steps with a big impact that we can all take
Yeah.
to make a difference.
Yeah. I like how y'all dive into the mental health aspect of it, because that is something that I feel that is mental health is um, extremely prevalent right now in today's world, and I think the things that you're doing is something that our community desperately needs. So I always enjoy going to your meetings.
Well, thank you, Jailyn.
Okay, so So this started in 2018, you said. So what do you think, what are you hoping for in the next few years in the future? And what do you hope for?
So it's very interesting. Had you asked me this 2 weeks ago, I would have had a little bit different answer, although um, a lot of environmental scientists have been telling us that there's going to be some times of deep grief, right? Times of deep reimagining what our lives look like and how we live them, and resource use, and what products are available, and how we give back to the planet or how we don't, and how that's going to impact our health, our emotional health, our physical well-being, and so on. Um, so things haven't changed a whole lot. They've just simply sped way up, right? Um, with the whole COVID-19. But basically, what we see for our organization is continuing to develop programs that resonate with people's hearts, because there's a lot of programs out there for the technical things people can do, right? Environmental restoration, for example, um, redesigning products, cradle to cradle, the whole manufacturing perspective. There's so much available for people from the technological, logical, intellectual, financial, political, socioeconomic perspective. And the more and more that people understand that, the more we know there will be these emotional reactions
Yeah.
that go along with it. So our role is to provide that support. We have a list on our website, theresilientactivist.org, that says resilience resources. And it's a list of some mental health professionals here in the Kansas City area and in Lawrence, as well as some other resources for people who really need that, to take that additional step of getting personal mental health support. And we strongly encourage people to do that.
Awesome. Great. Well, those are the questions that I have. Do you have anything that you want to say or tell anybody?
Yeah, the only, I think, if I could share one simple step for people to make to feel resilient and to connect to the environment and to know they're making a difference, and that would be to begin a mindfulness practice, meditation, yoga, um, and even just living from a place of mindfulness with every choice you make, every decision of what you're going to buy and where you're going to source your product, or what you're going to do with your trash or where it came from, to simply set an intention for mindfulness. Because the more that we practice that, the more we'll begin to live it. And the more of us who begin to live that, the more impact that we'll have.
Great. Awesome. Are you going to be at the Earth Day Festival online or what do
We'll
you?
be at the Earth Day Festival. Two of us have, I'll be doing a presentation on Saturday the 18th at 1 o'clock on ecological angst, building resilience. And then Beth Sarver, who is with Breathing Room KC, is on our board, and she's doing a program on the 19th on, it's called a Good Grief Network, that she's starting a community resource. So they'll both be similar in focus, but a different approach. So yeah, we'd love to have people join there.
Awesome. Great. Well, can't wait.
Thanks, Jailyn, and thanks to the Climate Council for all that you're doing to be that umbrella organization to bring us all together.
Thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview with me. I really appreciate it.